You ever notice something? The moment you stop chasing, everything changes. Not tomorrow, not next week, right? Then something shifts in her, something she can't explain, and suddenly she remembers. She remembers what she had. Before I go further, hit subscribe. This isn't entertainment. This is truth you need. And if you want more of it, that button matters. Now let's continue. Here's what most men don't understand. Women don't miss you when you're there. They miss you when you're gone. Not physically gone, emotionally gone, mentally gone. When your energy withdraws, when your attention disappears, that's when it starts. The missing, the wondering, the regret. But let's be clear, this isn't about games. This isn't about manipulation. This is about something deeper, something primal, something wired into how attraction actually works. And most men never learn this. They think being available makes them valuable. They think being present makes them irreplaceable. They're wrong. When you're always there, you become invisible. When you're always available, you become furniture. She stops seeing you as a man. She starts seeing you as a resource, as a utility, as something that just exists in the background. And you know what happens to things in the background? They get taken for granted every single time. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The moment you pull back, the moment you reclaim your time, your energy, your focus, her brain does something unexpected. It starts to panic, not consciously. She won't even realize it at first, but deep down in the part of her mind that governs attraction, an alarm goes off. Wait, where did he go? Why isn't he chasing anymore? What changed? This is female psychology at its core. Not theory, not opinion, reality. Women are attracted to what they might lose, not to what they already have, not to what's guaranteed, to what's slipping away, to what they suddenly can't control. And when you were chasing, she had control, total control. She knew you'd be there. She knew you'd wait. She knew you'd tolerate anything. But now you're different. Now you're focused on yourself, on your purpose, on your growth. And that shift, that subtle change in your energy, it rewrites everything because she's no longer the center of your world. She's no longer the priority. And that terrifies her. Not because she loves you, not yet, but because she's losing power. Let's talk about what happens next. She starts reaching out. Small things at first. A text here, a like there, maybe a question, something casual. She's testing, checking if you're still hooked, checking if she still has you. And this is where most men fail. They see that text and they jump. They see that attention and they fold. They think, finally, she's coming back. So they chase again. And just like that, they lose again. Because here's the truth. Her reaching out isn't about you. Not yet. It's about her. It's about her ego. Her need to know she's still wanted, still desired, still in control. And if you respond too fast, too eager, too available, you confirm what she already suspected. You're still the same guy, the guy she took for granted, the guy who will always be there. And the moment she knows that, the attraction dies again. But if you don't react, if you stay calm, if you stay focused on your life, your mission, your purpose, something else happens. The missing becomes real, the regret becomes real. She starts remembering the little things, the way you looked at her, the way you made her feel, the effort you put in, the things she ignored when you were chasing, now they matter, now they haunt her. This is the paradox. She didn't value you when you were trying, but now that you're not, she does. She didn't see your worth when you were present, but now that you're absent, she can't stop thinking about it. And this isn't cruelty. This isn't evil. This is just how it works. Attraction isn't logical. It's not fair. It's not even conscious most of the time. It's emotional. It's instinctual. It's based on perceived value. And your value as a man isn't measured by how much you give. It's measured by how much you respect yourself, by how much you're willing to walk away, by how much you refuse to tolerate being undervalued. That's what she feels. That's what she responds to. Not your words, not your promises, your energy, your frame, your self-respect. Now, let's go deeper. Why does this happen? Why do women take good men for granted? It's not always intentional. Sometimes it is. Sometimes she's testing you, seeing how much you'll tolerate, seeing if you'll hold your ground. But often it's subconscious. She's measuring your value by how you treat yourself. And if you're always available, always accommodating, always sacrificing, what does that say? It says, you don't value your own time, your own energy, your own life. And if you don't value it, why should she? This is the hard truth, the uncomfortable one. You taught her how to treat you, not with your words, with your actions, with your boundaries or lack of them. Every time you dropped everything for her, every time you rearranged your life to fit hers, every time you tolerated disrespect, neglect, or indifference, you sent a message. You told her without saying a word that she's more important than you are. And once that frame is set, it's nearly impossible to break unless you change, unless you walk away, unless you put yourself first. Not out of spite, not out of revenge, but out of self-respect, out of knowing your worth, out of refusing to be an option while treating someone like a priority. So what changes when you step back? Everything. Your absence creates space, space for her to feel, space for her to think, space for her to miss. And in that space, her emotions catch up. She realizes what she had. She realizes what she lost. She realizes that you weren't just some guy. You were the guy, the one who actually cared, the one who actually tried, the one who actually showed up. But here's the thing. By the time she realizes this, you need to be in a different place. Not waiting, not hoping, not planning your life around her return. You need to be genuinely moved on, focused on yourself, building your life, improving your health, chasing your goals, becoming the man you were always meant to be. Because if you're just waiting for her to come back, you've already lost. This isn't about her anymore. This is about you, about your growth, about your self-respect, about refusing to be defined by someone who couldn't see your value. And the irony is the moment you truly let go, the moment you stop caring, if she comes back, that's when she feels it the most. That's when the regret hits hardest, because now it's real. Now you're actually gone. And women can sense that. They know when you're faking it, when you're playing games, when you're pretending not to care but secretly hoping she notices. They can feel that energy and it repels them. But when you're genuinely indifferent, when you're genuinely focused elsewhere, when you've genuinely moved on, that energy is different. It's magnetic. It's powerful. It's rare because most men don't move on. They orbit. They linger. They stay close, hoping for scraps, hoping for breadcrumbs, hoping for another chance. And she sees that, and it kills any remaining attraction. But the man who actually walks away, the man who doesn't look back, the man who values himself enough to leave, that man is different. That man is dangerous. Not to her safety, to her ego, to her control, to her comfort. Let me tell you what happens in her mind. At first, she doesn't care. She might even feel relieved. Finally, he's gone. No more pressure, no more guilt. She can do what she wants, be with who she wants. She's free. But then time passes, days, weeks, maybe months, and you're still gone. You're not texting, not calling, not checking in. You're not watching her stories. You're not liking her posts. You're just gone. And that's when the questions start. Is he okay? Is he seeing someone? Did he actually move on? Why isn't he fighting for me? Why isn't he begging? And the more she doesn't hear from you, the louder those questions get. Because in her experience, men don't just leave. They beg, they plead, they negotiate. But you didn't. You just left. And that breaks the pattern. That disrupts her expectations. That makes you different. And different is attractive. Rare is attractive. Self-respect is attractive. Not in a shallow way, in a deep, primal, can't explain it way. She starts comparing. Every guy who gives her attention, every guy who chases her, every guy who tries too hard, and none of them measure up because none of them had the strength to walk away. None of them valued themselves enough to leave, but you did. Now here's what you need to understand. This doesn't mean you win her back. This doesn't mean she comes running back and everything's perfect. Sometimes she does, sometimes she doesn't. But that's not the point. The point is you. The point is your growth. The point is learning to value yourself so much that being taken for granted is no longer an option, that being disrespected is no longer tolerable, that being someone's backup plan is no longer acceptable. Because when you reach that level of self-respect, you stop attracting women who take you for granted. You start attracting women who see your value, who respect your time, who appreciate your effort, who match your energy. And if she's not one of those women, then letting her miss you is the best thing that ever happened. Not for her, for you. This is about reclaiming your power, not over her, over yourself, over your emotions, over your choices. It's about becoming the kind of man who doesn't need validation, who doesn't need reassurance, who doesn't need someone to choose him to feel worthy. You're already worthy. You were always worthy. You just forgot. You let her treatment of you define your value, and that was the mistake. So, let her miss you. Let her wonder. Let her regret. But don't do it for her. Do it for you. Do it because you deserve better. Do it because your time is valuable. Do it because your energy is sacred. Do it because you're done being taken for granted. And when you make that decision, when you truly commit to yourself, everything changes. Not just with her, with every woman, with every person, with your entire life. You become unmovable, unshakable, grounded. And that energy, that quiet confidence, that self-respect, it's the most attractive thing you can possess. Not because it makes people want you, but because it makes you stop needing them to. If this hit you, subscribe now because this channel is about truth, and truth is what makes you free. See you in the next one.